Hello, and thank you for joining us here on Press TV World News. Now, the United States resumes full military aid to Egypt that was suspended in 2013 following the ouster of the country's first democratically elected president, Mohamed Morsi. The White House said President Barack Obama notified his Egyptian counterpart that the U.S. would be sending 12 F-16 fighter jets, 20 missiles, and up to 125 tank kits to Cairo. Obama also assured the Egyptian leader that he would continue to support the $1.3 billion in aid that the U.S. government gives to Egypt annually. The White House said it is not issuing a certification that Egypt has made progress toward democracy. Instead, the U.S. said it's maintaining the aid because it is in the interest of its national security. Now we're joined out of Brisbane by radio host and a political commentator, Max Igan. Now, Mr. Igan, I mean, you know, the White House acknowledges that Egypt hasn't made progress towards democracy, but isn't the issue a bit deeper than that? I mean, not only have they not made Egypt, as Cairo, not made progress toward democracy, it's actually a blatant violator of human rights as well. Your thoughts?
Well, it is, absolutely. And again, this is what we see, the double standards of the United States. I mean, what's going on in Yemen, it's almost like everyone's going, oh, well, are you killing people? Can we come along? We've got bombs, we'll kill people. You know, they're just doing everything they can to escalate this conflict. Supplying Sisi with this type of military hardware is a terrible thing to do. It's a brutally oppressive regime, and it just shows again a double standard. They're not attempting to bring peace in Yemen. You don't go into Yemen with F-16 fighters and 125 tanks to bring stability to an area. These are civilians with light weapons, and they're sending in heavy artillery to just turn the place into a failed state the way they do with everybody else.
Right, and that, you know, they mentioned that the U.S. says we're going to give them this military aid to protect Egypt's national security. I mean, what's the threat here to Egypt's national security? The only thing that seems to be a threat is the protesting public that are threatening an undemocratic, brutal, and you know, oppressive regime.
Well, exactly. It's not in Egypt's national security interests at all. But I think what you'll find, as I said, that it was actually in U.S. national security interests as well. So you've got to look deeper in that. What is the interest of U.S. national security in doing this in Yemen? Again, I think they want to set up a failed state and perhaps put a military base there. And with everybody getting involved, you've got Israel going down there, sending planes in there, you've got Egypt sending all these things in. It's showing this strong alliance. And of course, they're all pointing the finger at Iran. You know, it's getting to the point that they're really trying to rub this and push Iran, I really believe. And we've got Israel down there getting involved now. So we've kind of, Israel is trying to face off against Iran. Israel's been trying to get Iran into a war for the last 30 years. And if you really look at how this is going, with everybody getting involved and arming up to the teeth the way they are, I think that's the way they're trying to push it.
And what do you think is the real underlying factor, sir, under the reason that the U.S. is giving this military aid over to Egypt? I mean, in the sense that the U.S., Washington had been otherwise pretty critical of how Sisi was running the country, but lately Sisi's been a little getting warmed up to Tel Aviv quite a bit. Do you think this is some kind of bone they're throwing to Cairo because of improved relations with Israel?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, I do. You've got to understand, Sisi's also got his eye on Gaza. He's declared Hamas a terrorist organisation, and there's talk of ISIS being in Gaza and all sorts of stuff. So you've got to wonder what else he's going to do with this hardware. Because, of course, it'd be a lot easier for Sisi to go in and stomp on Gaza than it is for Israel. But, of course, you've really got to look at the bigger picture of this. They really want to set up a base and destabilise the whole area around Yemen. And I think it all points towards Iran. Look, Sisi has really been rubbing shoulders with Israel. You've got to remember there's those major gas fields off Gaza as well. A lot of they, I think, fall into Egyptian waters as well. So if they can work out some sort of a deal, it's all very profitable for them to do this. So they've got to make sure this alliance is nice and strong, and Yemen's just the playing field that they're using to do it. Again, it's just another humanitarian crisis unfolding on the planet to satisfy a political agenda.
Interesting. Thank you for your input there, sir. That was Mr. Max Igan out of Australia, radio host and political commentator.